Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It is our privilege and pleasure to welcome you all to the inaugural ceremony of Conventus 2025, the 14th annual management conclave of IMI Delhi. Today marks the commencement of 3 days dedicated to leadership, learning, and collaboration, where thought leaders, industry experts, and young minds come together to explore the ever evolving dynamics of the business world.
A very warm welcome to our honorable guest, our chief guest, Mr. Ritesh Chandra, Managing Partner, Conventus' Future Leaders Fund, Dr. Professor Sonu Goyal, Dean Academics IMI Delhi, all area chairs, program chairs, and esteemed faculty members. We also extend a heartfelt welcome to all the students, our future leaders present with us today. It is your enthusiasm and curiosity that makes Conventus a true celebration of ideas.
Once, leadership meant experience. Today, it means evolution. The baton is no longer passed, it's shared, as generations together lead towards a wiser, braver world. This year, the Conventus explores the powerful theme when the next generation guides the boardroom. Traditional leadership models are not just being replaced but reimagined by the very generation that was once asked to wait for their turn. The boardroom is no longer just a seat of authority, it's a space where experience meets experimentation and wisdom meets curiosity.
In a world demanding authentic dialogue and purposeful engagement, the emerging generation is not just waiting for a seat at the table. They are reshaping the table itself, blending profit with purpose and legacy with agility. Before we move ahead, let us take a moment to experience the spirit and vision behind this conclave through a short audio-visual presentation on Conventus 2025 and legacy with agility. Before we move ahead, let us take a moment to
India, the nation of our hearts, stands at a new dawn, brimming with a vibrant generation, restless yet rooted, bold yet balanced. Not waiting for a seat at the table, but redefining the very room, brimming with a vibrant generation,
evolve, and the sidelines become the stage.
bold yet
We find ourselves
not waiting for a seat at the table.
We are privileged to have with us our esteemed chief guest, Mr. Ritesh Chandra, whose inspiring journey continues to motivate professionals across industries. May I now invite Dr. Professor Sonu Goyal, Dean Academics, to welcome our chief guest by presenting a bouquet as a token of gratitude and appreciation.
To mark this auspicious beginning of this conclave and to symbolize the victory of knowledge over ignorance, we now proceed with the lighting of the lamp. We invite our chief guest, Mr. Ritesh Chandra, Dr. Professor Sonu Goyal, Dean Academics, and all our distinguished area chairs and program chairs to join us for the ceremony. Before we move ahead, let us take a moment to re-experience the spirit and vision behind the conclave through the short audio-visual presentation on Conventus 2025.
India, the nation of young hearts, stands at a new dawn, brimming with a vibrant generation, restless yet rooted, bold yet balanced, not waiting for a seat at the table, but redefining the very room at large.
As boardrooms evolve and the sidelines become the stage, we find ourselves at a pivotal point where lines between hierarchy and harmony blur, and wisdom finds its echo in youth.
Learnings from history, hope for the present, and dream for the future. They have it all.
A nation has come of age, and at Conventus 2025, we are writing its story. Here, courage is the currency and ideas are influence. So let's join hands to welcome the emerging dawn, to anticipate, shape and embrace the change that will define our future.
It gives me great honor to now introduce our Dean Academics, Dr. Professor Sonu Goyal. Professor Goyal is a respected academic leader and Professor of Business and Corporate Strategy at IMI Delhi. A PhD from the Faculty of Management Studies, University of Delhi, she brings extensive experience in strategy, entrepreneurship, and sustainability, and has played a pivotal role in strengthening IMI's academic vision and excellence. Her work bridges academia and practice, guiding organizations through growth with responsible leadership, reflecting her commitment to advancing sustainability and ethical business practices. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Professor Sonu Goyal to address the gathering.
This one also? Yeah. Okay. Mr. Chandra, my colleagues and dear students, a very good morning and a warm welcome to Conventus 2025. As you all know, this is the 14th annual management conclave. Why is it resonating so much? The sound. Yeah. So, can you hear me across? Yeah, okay. So this is the 14th management conclave that we have, and you know that this is the annual event that we hold every year. And Conventus literally means coming together, right? And therefore, Conventus has emerged as a very strong platform for bringing industry leaders from across diverse sectors, businesses, and they come and share their experiences and views across these 3 days. And the whole idea is to encourage learning beyond classroom, and therefore it inspires a lot of conversations and discussions, and this is what Conventus is all about. The theme for Conventus 2025 this year is when the next generation guides the boardroom. So I'm sure you understand that it captures how leadership is going to evolve in the next decade, and you will be the ones who will be taking the baton forward, right? There'll be 12 summits, and we will explore this theme from various different aspects of management. There'll be summits which will be talking on analytics, marketing, strategy, sustainability, and entrepreneurship. Each summit will, of course, bring a unique perspective as we discuss about finance, as to how it's balancing agility with resilience, how human resources are shaping learning cultures, how operations are evolving through intelligence and automation, and so on. So these 12 summits will be a great experience for all of you, and I'm assuming that you will get opportunity to network and meet a lot of industry leaders who will prove to be your mentors, and you'll get a lot of opportunity to network with them. This theme, why this theme? Of course, it resonates with today's reality. We are more and more looking at decision making which has more transparency, more accountability, and a focus on sustainability, which is extremely close to the heart of most organizations and the governments, and it's become a global agenda. So the very definition of leadership is changing, and it's now rooted in transparency and accountability. We have a very exceptional lineup of speakers in these next 3 days, including today. We are, of course, deeply honored by having Mr. Ritesh Chandra with us, who has been with Avendus for, I think, almost a decade now. 2 decades. Fantastic. So he's been with, and he's the managing partner with Avendus Futures Leaders Fund. And one of the reasons I think we have invited the Student Council has specially scouted around for getting someone who can actually resonate with the theme of this event. And he's someone who actually resonates and represents how analytical precision making with visionary thinking as far as his career in finance sector is concerned. As we begin these 3 days of engaging sessions, deep insights and discussions, let us remember that Conventus is more than an event. It is an experience that inspires learning, reveals future trends, and sparks the most innovative ideas. On behalf of IMI Delhi, I extend my heartfelt gratitude to our chief guest, our speakers, our sponsors, and every participant who makes Conventus what it is. Let us embrace the dialogue, the learning, and the change, because the next generation is not waiting to lead, it is already leading. Thank you and welcome to Conventus 2025.
Thank you, ma'am, for your inspiring words and for guiding us with your vision of excellence and innovation. It is now our privilege to introduce our honorable chief guest, Mr. Ritesh Chandra, Managing Partner, Avendus Future Leaders Fund, where he has been instrumental in nurturing and backing high-potential Indian enterprises. With over 25 years of experience in investment banking and wealth management, his career spans leadership roles at some of the most respected global institutions, including Avendus Capital, Credit Suisse, Ernst & Young, and Arthur Andersen.
An alumnus of Faculty of Management Studies, University of Delhi, where he earned his MBA in Finance, and a graduate in Engineering from Netaji Subhash Institute of Technology, Mr. Chandra combines analytical precision with strategic foresight. Beyond his professional achievements, he is admired for his ability to identify and empower next-generation business leaders. He is a true believer in India's entrepreneurial spirit. Please join me in extending a very warm welcome to our chief guest, Mr. Ritesh Chandra.
A very good morning to everybody, and thank you for having me over. Brings back very fond memories of being in business school a very, very long time ago. And I do recollect my time sitting there figuring out what I want to do in life. And as you would imagine, that was a generation, as surprise, surprise, there was no internet, nothing at all. So I think just one of the mics would do. Yeah, thank you. So as we were wondering, sitting, what we are going to do, literally the only source of information for us was our peers, our seniors who used to tell us and guide us, guys, this is what a career looks like, this is what the future is going to do, so why don't you pursue something there? I think just roll back to move forward to where we are today. I have no hesitation in saying that today's generation is actually the luckiest generation that we are going to see for a very, very long time. All of you are at what I would call the Goldilocks period of getting into business, where all the stars are aligned from different perspectives, right? Today, as all of you know, technology has become an amazing game changer for everybody. Today, you have access to what's happening anywhere in the world at the tip of a button. You can use artificial intelligence engines to figure out, make your own businesses, figure out what's happening in businesses. So really, the opportunity is before you, and what you make out of it is completely on your own. And I say this with a very deep sense of responsibility, that India in the next 20 years, okay, if anything wrong happens, we are to blame, okay? This generation and what we're doing today will impact the future of the country going forward. It's completely on us to mess it up, okay? If we don't mess it up, we've just got our stars aligned like how. Okay, so that's from an overall perspective. Now, what I'd like to do today is just give you some perspectives on what's happening in the corporate world, as well as what is increasingly gaining importance and cadence across, especially boardrooms. I've been fortunate enough to be involved in several high-quality businesses, both as advisors first and then as an investor in the last decade or so. Okay. One of the key things that I have seen as a fundamental change, and I think that some of you would appreciate that, is a focus on governance. Okay. I think that's something that's dramatically shifted over the last 20, 30 years. It is extremely important when boardrooms are having a discussion with entrepreneurs or business people to understand that the company is not your fiefdom. The company is run by stakeholders, both external and internal, and every employee, every board representative, every stakeholder has a fiduciary responsibility to fulfill that obligation. Okay, so conduct is extremely, extremely important. Some of you who've heard stories about corporate malfeasance way back in the 90s, 2000s, would be aware of the fact that, it was a known fact, how much of the financials are reported on the balance sheet and how much are what they call as off-balance sheet items. Now, your definition of off-balance sheet, what they teach you in class, is slightly different from what the promoter thinks about, because his definition of an off-balance sheet item is not a lease or it's a parallel books of accounts that he used to run. Today, that metric has changed completely. People are extremely, extremely focused on high-quality governance and high-quality companies. And I think that is a function of two things. It's not that the generations have become honest overnight, okay, to be honest. It's a recognition of the fact that the markets are willing to pay a premium for well-run businesses. And that premium in itself overshadows any cash that I can take out of the business. And that culture permeates right from the boardroom down to every employee. You do hear stories in India about corporate misgovernance. You hear stories about, promoters being accused of wrongdoing, etc. Please appreciate those are far and few in between. That metric has changed completely. Markets today will value businesses which are run cleanly, and that doesn't start at the boardroom, mind you. Okay, it actually starts right at the bottom. When you get into business or when you get into any corporate, how you conduct yourself, what are the kind of values that you bring to the organization, are they in sync with what the organization is doing or not, is extremely critical, because you will have touch points outside the organization. And people form an opinion on the organization basis on how you conduct yourself. So that is the first thing that I would highlight upon. The second thing that I'd highlight is today, we are, as I mentioned at the outset, we are living in a generation which is exposed to an extreme level of technology. Okay. Today, every boardroom discussion is around using artificial intelligence to enable and run businesses. Okay. Please be aware that it is not restricted to tech companies alone. Whether you are selling soaps, whether you are selling technology, whether you are selling services, artificial intelligence is the subject of every boardroom discussion. So make sure that when you step into the corporate world, you are at least familiar with its potential, you are at least familiar with what technology can do for you. I think you've got a great advantage, and I think the beauty of AI is that it's completely democratic. Everybody has equal access to it. Okay? It's how you use it and how you leverage on that can actually make a delta on the performance, on your performance, and as well as the performance of your businesses. I think that's extremely critical. So leverage technology, understand technology, make it your ally. It'll help you, it'll go places. Okay, because today, and while I'm not, there are skeptics around on what AI can do and what AI cannot do, but the reality is it's a technology that's going to be used in every business in some form and fashion, right? So that's the second thing that I'd like to just touch upon. The third thing that's changed, and you would appreciate, is speed. Today, markets are extremely dynamic. You need to be able to come up the curve extremely fast. Markets are extremely efficient, and I'm not talking about the stock markets, I'm generally talking about general markets. You have to have the nimbleness and the ability to get things done quickly. Okay, it's an extremely hyper competitive world. It's an extremely, you keep hearing the fact that it's an interconnected world, it's a competitive world. Yes, it is. It's more competitive than actually you think about. If you cannot think of the next good thing today, somebody else, your competitor, will. Okay, and once he's the first mover, you are always running behind. Speed is extremely important in how you think about things. So as and when any decision making is done, do ensure that you're looking at speed as one of the key parameters on how you evaluate yourself. The other thing that's changed, and again I'm just going to allude to a few more points, is that the regulatory framework across businesses is changing very fast. Okay, we had GST getting implemented a few years ago. We had tax changes being implemented a few years ago. Those are the statutory changes, right? But there is a need for today, as when you work in a corporate, you are exposed to regulations not just in India, but let's say your corporate is exporting to products outside. Tariffs have had an impact. Today, the market is extremely global for products and services. You need to be fully abreast of what's happening. What is it? You don't need to be subject matter experts. Nobody's expecting you to be an expert on GST, or nobody's expecting you to be an expert on taxation, etc. but please be aware of what the regulations are. A related point to that is innovation, and especially for those in the financial services who are looking at it as a career in financial services. Today, if you are not innovating or not being creative, again, you will be left behind. Okay? Innovation in financial products, innovation basis changes in regulations, innovation basis changes in what's happening in the market is critical. Okay? Every time round I am sitting in a board meeting, my first point of discussion is, okay, this is being done traditionally, how can we do it better? Is somebody applying? Because the easiest answer to give, oh, it's been happening like this for the last 5 years, let's just continue to do it. Why disrupt something when nothing's broken? That's the easiest answer to give, right? But the reality is somebody should actually put the question across, saying that, listen, can something be done better? Can something be done differently than what we've been able to do to either save costs, to make the go-to-market strategy faster, whatever be the case? Innovation is always a key cornerstone to anything that you're doing. So that's the other thing that I'd request you to be. And innovation, please appreciate that you just need to know your business to be innovative, right? It's not that you need to be creative or you really have a brilliance of over some subject matter. It just is pure common sense. Just be innovative as and when you think about what you're planning to do. And as you realize, as things move forward, there are two more critical factors that are subjects of boardroom discussions that I think all of you must be aware of. And I think as an organization, I've been with the vendors now for 20 years. I was one of the first of few employees who started the organization. One of the key focus areas for us was diversity. Especially in financial services, if you notice, it's unfortunately a very male-dominated profession. And that's something that when we started this business, and if I may just digress a little bit, our vision was to create an Indian multinational. We had no money, we were professionals without any family backgrounds or anything of the like. Our whole focus was to create an Indian multinational, and that's the genesis of how Conventus was founded. But when we started the business, we were very clear that we had the option to rewrite the slate slightly differently from what it was written. Our focus was that, listen, how do we get more diversity into financial services, right? So I'm very happy to tell you that even today, we have about 700 odd employees. A third of our employee workforce are women today, okay? And that's a ratio that actually we continuously monitor and please appreciate the fact that we are actually one of the very, very few firms which has such a high preponderance of women in the workforce. But it was done by design. And surprise, surprise, the longevity of every female employee is higher at our organization than any male employee on an average. So that's been a great outcome for us. And so one of the key things that, and coming back to the point that I was making, is diversity is becoming important. It's important to embrace both gender diversity as well as diversity of thoughts. Listen to what everybody is saying. Everybody comes in with a fresh perspective. So we have a rule within the firm. Everybody, including the junior most analyst, has a voice at the table. Okay? Because you guys bring in fresh perspectives. You guys bring in a thought process which is slightly different from what we've been brought up with. And it's only natural. You'll be surprised as to when we make investment decisions, my first two questions are to my analysts. What 23 or 24-year-old kids? And the questions are exactly in terms of what their opinion on a particular investment is. And the reason why we do that is because, as I said, their ability to bring perspectives, their ability to bring a diversity of thought, their ability to bring a different viewpoint is very well appreciated. Last and not, I think, The only other point that I'd like to make in this whole scheme of things is, diligence in India. When I say diligence, I mean personal diligence. Everybody works hard, okay? There is no differentiation between XYZ from any one campus versus another campus. What is the output that you are generating? You get paid not for working hard. You get paid in the corporate world for generating outcomes. Always ask yourself that question. Can I work smarter? Can I work harder? Rather than just working harder. Okay. What that will do is will open up windows of time for yourselves that will enable you to broad base your own skill set, as well as enable you to think differently. And that in itself is an amazing, amazing thing that you can do. You'll see your personal development scale up extremely, extremely fast. Today, I'll tell you, we interact with entrepreneurs. I mean, I'm an investor in about 17, 18 companies through the fund. And we interact with entrepreneurs across the globe, including, our biggest investment today is going public. Lenskart has been our biggest investment, and that's going public today. I'll use that as an example to just demonstrate what nimbleness means. We've been wearing glasses since we were, since God knows when, yeah. The reality is nobody thought of breaking into that market. It's a mom and pop dominated market. Every local market here has eyewear store. Piyush studied in Canada. He came back to India. He had zero background in business. He had zero background in anything. Okay. He started the business because he saw an opportunity in a broken market. Okay. And this was way back in 2011, 2012. Today, just by using technology and just by using a very, very strong focus on execution, he is the largest eyewear company in Asia. Very few people appreciate how big the business is. Okay? He's the number one player in India. He's the number one player in Malaysia, Philippines, the number two player in Japan, the number two player in Singapore. Why I want to illustrate Lenskart as an example is it's a business that all of you see on the stores, right? But it's a business driven by sheer focus on innovation, execution, and scale. When you think about a business, think big. Think big. Think about how you're going to execute any idea. Most people, and I say this with the utmost humility, have great PPT skills, but extremely poor interpretation. Okay? PPTs are not going to get you across the world, boss. Execution is. You've got to roll up your sleeves and get your hands dirty in this business. So the reason I'm highlighting these examples is today entrepreneurs are seeing opportunity come across very differently, right? You just have to recognize it when you see it, have the ability to adapt technology to it, and think big. And then the world's your oyster, honestly. Honestly, I didn't want to extend it beyond any particular thing. I just wanted to say a few points. Happy to take any questions if any of you may have, or any thing that you'd like to ask me. But if not, then I'd like to wrap up. Nothing? Superb. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir, for your enriching insights. Your words remind us that the true strength of leadership lies in trust, inclusion, and the courage to share power with the next generation.
We now invite the Internal Relations Coordinator of Student Council, Ms. Manasvi Jain, to share with us what lies ahead in the next 3 days of Conventus 2025.
Thank you, Shagun. Thank you, Kriti. Good morning, everyone. Respected Chief Guest, Dean Academics, esteemed faculty members, distinguished guests, industry leaders, and my fellow IMItes. On behalf of the Student Council of IMI Delhi, it is my privilege to welcome you all to Conventus 2025, the 14th annual management conclave of our institute. Conventus has always been more than just an event. It is an experience, a celebration of intellect, leadership, and collaboration that defines very spirit of IMI Delhi. Over the years, it has become a space where ideas are not just exchanged, but challenged, where students don't just listen, but engage, and where conversations don't end in the room, but it will, and I promise you, it will begin right here. And this year, Conventus 2025 stands taller than ever before, bigger in scale, bolder in thought, and brighter in spirits. This year's edition brings together 12 summits over 3 transformative days, featuring some of the most distinguished leaders from across industries. Visionaries such as Mr. Ajay Kharbanda, Mr. Saurabh Jain, Mr. Sanjay Chadha, and Mr. Arindam Lahiri, among many, many others. Each of them represents the dynamism and diversity of the world we are about to step into. Our theme, When Next Generation Guides the Boardroom, captures the essence of today's changing leadership landscape. The next generation is not waiting for the baton to be passed, and I'm sure you all can agree upon it. But we are stepping forward, equipped with fresh ideas, authentic voices, and deep sense of purpose. Over the next 3 days, our campus will transform into a hub of learning, debate, and discovery. Each of our 12 summits, curated by the academic and functional student bodies of IMI, brings a unique perspective. From finance, which explores resilience in a world of volatility, to marketing, which redefines authenticity as the new currency of growth, from analytics, which makes insights accessible to all, to strategy, which brings legacy with innovation. Conventus 2025 is a journey through every corner of management thought, every evolving idea, and every rising possibility. But what truly sets this year apart is not just the scale, it's the spirit. This year Conventus is grander in vision, deeper in dialogue, and richer in experience. It embodies the energy of an institute that continues to evolve with time, where every student, every faculty member, and every club has contributed to make this conclave a benchmark of excellence. And when the light dims after the summit, a new rhythm begins. Conventus Nights. I am sure you all are very excited about it. 3 evenings that promises connections, creativity, and celebrations. The first night will bring out the joy of teamwork through fun and games. The second will change your individual spirit with engaging activities. And the grand finale, Star Night, will be a spectacle of music, dance, and unforgettable performances by NSYNC, Zarya, and Enthrall, our very own cultural societies, leading up to a performance by a renowned celebrity artist. We are yet to disclose the name. Because Conventus is not just about academic learning, it's about holistic growth. It's about building leaders who can balance boardroom discussions with creative expressions, who can think strategically but also connect emotionally. For the students, these next 3 days are an opportunity to learn from the leaders, the best, to connect with peers, to ask questions fearlessly, and to walk away inspired. You will find insights that stay with you far beyond these walls. Insights about leadership, about resilience, and about what it truly means to make an impact. So, as we commence this journey of Conventus 2025, let us embrace the learning, the laughter, the legacy that these 3 days promises. On behalf of Student Council IMI Delhi, I extend a warm and heartfelt welcome to all our speakers, guests, faculties, and students who make this event possible. Now, I extend our heartfelt gratitude to our chief guest, Mr. Ritesh Chandra, for gracing us with their presence and share their inspiring insights and some stories that will lead India to a better future. Your words have truly added immense value to this event. I would also like to thank our esteemed faculties who are present here. Thank you so much for their constant guidance, encouragement, and support in making this event a success. And I thank you once again, every one of you, and we look forward to meeting you in our future initiatives in all the 12 summits. I'm hoping that you all are very excited for the summits lying forward, and and the registrations that we have gotten this year is bigger than ever. And thank you so much, everyone, for coming for this inauguration session.
Thank you for that glimpse into exciting flow of events that await us over the next 3 days.
To express our gratitude to our distinguished guests and dignitaries, we now invite Dr. Professor Sonu Goyal, Dean Academics IMI Delhi, to deliver the vote of thanks.
So there's not much left to say except that my heartiest congratulations to the Student Council for organizing this, and all the societies and committees and cultural bodies, student bodies who have worked towards this event. And I'm hoping and I'm wishing you a great success. And thank you so much, Mr. Chandra, for being here with us, and all our faculty colleagues and students for being at the inaugural ceremony, as well as I'm hoping that you'll be having immense participation in these 3 days. And of course, a big thank you to all the administrative staff and all the other vertical heads who have really contributed towards organizing this 3-day summit. Thank you so much.
To express our heartfelt gratitude to all our distinguished guests and dignitaries, we would request Dr. Professor Sonu Goyal to facilitate our esteemed chief guest, Mr. Ritesh Chandra, as a token of our appreciation for gracing us with his presence and insights.
As we draw the inaugural session of Conventus 2025 to a close, we extend our deepest gratitude to all our guests, faculty, and students for making this event truly special.
Conventus is not just a platform for ideas, it's a celebration of perspectives where experience and youth come together to shape the future of leadership. Thank you once again for being a part of the celebration of leadership and learning. Here's to a future where the next generation doesn't just join the boardroom, they guide it forward.